Hi guys, this week's video is an interview with Bob and Jenny Earnshaw. We did the interview when they had the Bailey 76-4T on trial. We did the first part of the interview 3 days into the tour when they was in Burrs Country Park, and then the second part we did nearly a fortnight later over in Southport the day before they finished the trip. So this is what they had to say. Alright.
Sort of going. That's it.
Thank you for that, Bob.
We don't want to look wonky, do we?
No.
Certainly wouldn't want to look wonky.
So, I'm going to ask you some questions.
Okay.
All right.
It's up to you whether,
Why would you want to do that then?
it's up to you whether you answer them truthfully or not.
Truthfully, was it not a
We will
yes
answer
or no?
truthfully.
It's only 4 questions.
Okay.
Right.
And so, I have wrote them down on my phone, so you just have to bear with me while I find them.
Hey, Popster.
So,
Good
here
to
we
see
are.
you then. What?
Bob interview.
Oh, right.
Question number 1.
Oh, okay.
Could you tell us how you came to have this motorhome on loan from Bailey?
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, we were going to the NEC. It was it October?
Yeah.
NEC, and we got an email from Bailey, and they asked us, did we want to go on their media list?
Yeah.
Because I think they'd seen some of our videos, so we just asked if we want to go on the media list. So we went on the media list, and that was probably in August, I guess, wasn't it?
It was before, yeah.
It was before the show.
Yeah.
And when the show, just before the show came round, they asked us, did we want to go to the launch of the Bailey Alliance range?
Mm.
So we went along, basically.
Well, you went to.
I went along. That's it. Give us a bit more room here. That's it.
You
we
went along.
and had a look at the Bailey Alliance range as it was launched there. And I thought at the time, I'd seen other YouTubers talking about hiring motorhomes, and a few other people had hired Bailey. I knew Bailey were one of the companies that loaned out vehicles for people to test. So I asked the question. Do you think we could get a loan vehicle?
Yeah.
And it was after the show that we eventually got it sorted out, and we were hoping originally to test one of the Alliance range, but what has sort of passed my notice was that there was a new Advance model, which is this one, the 764T, and my contact at Bailey, Wes, he said, do you want to test the Advance 764T?
I said, yes, please.
So here we are.
Yeah. Here we are,
Excellent.
isn't
Yeah.
So, next question then, leading on, is what are Bailey expecting from this loan?
What do they get from it?
What do they expect?
Yeah, what do they expect? Okay, well, I mean, the only sort of expectation they had is that Bailey have got the idea that, crazy idea, I know, that but people should use their motorhomes, and use them particularly in all seasons. So here we are.
Yeah,
On
in all seasons.
Middle of winter.
Middle of winter, it's chucking it down outside.
Windy,
but we're nice
Yes.
and warm inside a Bailey motorhome.
Yeah, it is really warm in here as well.
It is, yeah.
So we're not being sponsored by Bailey in any way. They've given us a motorhome completely free of charge. We pay for the diesel, the electricity, the site fees, that sort
We
of thing.
planned the trip, which sites we're going to go to,
Yeah.
haven't we, the route we're going to take, so, yeah.
Other than that, I think they'd like to see the videos, but they haven't said, show me the videos before
No, nothing like that.
we release them. So
No, it's been really good.
yeah.
Right, so
Next question.
The next question is, so you've told us what Bailey expects. What's your objectives of the trip? What do you want to get across on this video, on this fortnight's trip?
Okay.
Well, we thought we'd try and approach it as beginners, didn't we? And try and feature a lot of things that beginners would look for or need to understand how to do. Because this is basically an entry-level van. So I mean, but compared with the
It's first in the
entry-level van
range.
we had,
Yeah.
it is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
So we want to try and show what it's like to drive it, what jobs you have to do on site, what's it like to go onto a service pitch, what's the facilities in the van like, and then the shower, the beds, the cooker.
So we've done some sort of basic things about, how do you drive a motorhome, or what are the blinds like, how do you fill it up with, how do you empty the toilet, how do you fill it up with water. So, like we say, it's a perfect motorhome for people who are new to motorhomes. Obviously, we get more views, is what we get out of it at the end, So
Yeah, more subscribers.
More subscribers.
Can't being honest, can you? So, just one more question at the moment.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to catch up with you later on in the trip.
Yeah.
And I'll ask you some more questions
when
you've had a fortnight
to digest it.
So, up to now you've been to Southport. You're here at Burrs.
Yeah.
What's your rest of your plans for your trip?
Right, well, we're going to... Your phone's ringing now. We're going to York.
Shall I just answer that?
On then.
Yeah.
So,
Talking about the route.
we're talking about the route. We said
so
that
where are we going?
you've been to Southport. You're here.
Yeah.
What's the rest of your plans for the fortnight?
Right, well, we're going to York.
That's just changed whilst we've been videoing.
Well, the sites haven't changed.
No, the sites haven't changed, but we just had a phone call from Bailey, so if you'd wonder why we've suddenly gone whoop, and our hair's changed or something. That's why. We just had a phone call from Bailey. We're going to organise something at Durham, aren't we? So that was what that was.
Yeah.
So our plans from now are we're going, first of all, from here we're going to York Roundtree Park. There we go. Poppy's gate's fallen off.
Yeah, we're going to York Roundtree Park.
Yeah.
And then we're going to Durham Grange on the A1.
Yeah.
And then we're going to Edinburgh.
Yeah.
Then we're going to Glasgow.
Yeah.
Then, providing the weather is okay and there's not 10 feet of snow, we're going to Coniston.
Yeah.
If not, if we can't go to Coniston, we might either come back here or find another... Because obviously they've got to find the sites that are open, haven't we?
Yeah.
In January.
Yeah.
But then we go back to Southport, where we're going to do our final...
We'll do a final review
of the band.
Yeah.
And that's where I'll catch up with you.
You'll catch up with us back at
so
Southport.
We can ask you
So
some more questions on how you've got on for the fortnight.
Yeah.
After we've driven more than 52 miles, because we've only done...
It's only 52 miles at the moment, but
exactly.
It's less than 52 miles because it was 11 when we got it. So
yeah, all right. Yeah, so it's a nice round trip. So going up the east side and then going across to Glasgow and then back down again. Yeah.
Well, thank you for that.
That's okay.
We'll catch up with you in Southport.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
So, we left Jenny and Bob at Burrs. They went off on the way to York, Durham, Edinburgh, Glasgow. They didn't go to Coniston. They came back to Bury because they wanted to go to the Event City Motorhome show. So they came back to Bury, went down there, and then went off to Southport. And on the Saturday, Sharon and I caught up with them, had a bit of lunch, and continued or finished the interview. So let's go back to them.
That's it. All right.
Right,
you sit down there. There you go.
Right, guys.
Right.
It's nearly the end of your tour.
Yeah.
I said we'd come back and visit you when you were at Bury last week. Well, it's a fortnight ago nearly now.
It was, yeah.
So we'll do part 2 of the interview if you don't mind.
Okay, yeah, fine.
So, part 2, question 1. Have you had any teething problems with the motorhome? If so, what are they? You know, like most new vehicles, you get teething problems.
You get a snagging list, don't you?
Yeah.
I think the first thing we had was that this hickey up here fell on my head.
Yeah, that started. That was within about 10 minutes, wasn't it?
No, less than that.
So good old Gorilla Tape.
Yeah, stuck it up with a bit of Gorilla Tape. What it was just missing a couple of metal clips that hold the thing in there, and we got that fixed at
Kimberley's. Yeah.
something that's been bugging us all the time we've been in here is that this floor squeaks. There's a trap door on the floor, and it was squeaking the whole holiday. We came to do our review yesterday, and guess what? It stopped squeaking.
Yeah.
So we've not heard a squeak from it since.
No. The only other teething problem we had was with the microwave, which I think we explained in the last video. You could only operate it if you held the door closed. Again, the nice people at Kimberley Caravans have exchanged it for a Russell Hobbs Hello Opportunity microwave.
I'd rather like to take that Russell Hobbs with me. Actually,
it's a really nice microwave, so we're really pleased with that. Yeah.
Right.
I think that's about it.
I think that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've had the motorhome for 2 weeks now. Would you recommend people buying one? And if so, what group of people would you be recommending it to?
Blimey, that's a big question, isn't it? Yes, I suppose is the answer. If you're thinking about a motorhome, yeah, definitely do it. It is a lifestyle decision, obviously, and you've got to make sure you've got the funds to do it.
And it's the layout that suits you. It's a layout that suits us.
Yeah.
You know, not everybody would want the twin beds and would want the travel
some
seats.
people need more storage in it. Some people would want drop-down beds. They might have kids. There's all sorts of different reasons. But if you can settle on the right layout for you, and that might involve hiring a motorhome, or getting someone kind to loan you one, perhaps a friend's or something, and see what layout suits you. And go for it. This particular motorhome, if you ask me who it suits, I would say it suits a beginner. Someone who's never done motorhoming before. And also, it's not hugely expensive. You're not looking at cashing in your life savings unless you've got that sort of
Well,
money.
some motorhomes can be nearly 100,000.
Yeah.
So think about
you could be looking at selling your house to buy some motorhomes, couldn't you?
Yeah.
So it's something that if you're keeping it for 10 years or something, it will see you really good service. So if someone is new to motorhoming, it's a couple's van. I'm convinced of it.
Yeah, it's nice that you can take friends with you, because if you go out for the day, they can sit in the travel seats. But it would be a little bit tight if you were trying to sleep 4 people in here.
Yeah.
Bit of a challenge putting up the other bed.
It's a pain putting these beds that make up it from travel seats.
But for us who like this layout, it's been great.
It's been great.
We've
Absolutely.
enjoyed it.
Yeah. And if we were starting again,
we'd have loved this.
We'd have loved this as a beginner van. It would have been really good.
Yeah.
It would have been perfect.
Right, thank you. So you basically answered question 3. Then would you be tempted to buy this motorhome?
Not this particular motorhome. But if they did this layout perhaps in the Autograph, in the Autograph range, I'd definitely be tempted. We've looked at the Autograph 7940, which has twin beds, but the twin beds are at the back of the motorhome, and they're too far away from the rest of the van.
We quite like the Alliance, which is got extras on it, hasn't it? It's got the solar panel,
and a bigger
comes
engine.
with an awning, it's got a black cab, hasn't it? So it's a very attractive looking van. So whereas this is sort of all white.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, but just like the look of that Alliance.
Yeah.
But it's
like the
very
contrast in exterior.
But it's very similar inside.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you like the layout in here, you like the Alliance one.
Yeah. So it's got us thinking about new vans. So
Watch this space.
Watch your space.
Jenny, this is one's for you. In the last time when you at the beginning, you mentioned that you like the open plan layouts. After a fortnight of having the open plan layout, do you still like it?
Yes, because particularly at night when we're sleeping, we're finding Poppy is quite happy staying on the seat up here, whether that's probably to do with the heating because it stays warmer up here.
It is warm.
But I think it's actually because she can see us.
Yeah.
Whereas when we're in our van,
with the door closed,
she can't see us and she gets cold, and she's coming, several times a night. But you've been quite happy, haven't you?
Yeah.
In your own bed
you like your warmth, don't you? Eh?
Yeah. So she's really enjoyed it. She's taken to it, haven't you?
Poppy would buy it.
Yeah. Poppy says it's great.
Right. What do you think, if anything, could be done to improve the van?
Reversing camera.
camera. Yeah.
Reversing camera. Yeah.
Yeah.
It should. I think all motorhomes should come with a reversing camera. We were here before Christmas, and we were waiting to get into the motorhome waste disposal point, and we were waiting with the van, and we knew we'd had to reverse. And I just started to reverse, and I looked at my reversing camera, and there was a little girl on a bicycle who'd stopped about 3 inches away from my back bumper.
I
couldn't see her in my mirrors.
No.
No.
So I think as a safety feature, they really should think about having reversing cameras on all motorhomes.
Yeah. And the only other thing that we were sort of a little bit worried about is that low waste.
The low waste pipe. Yeah. I mean, not really got a solution. We like the fact that it drains quickly, because it does get rid of the wastewater quickly, but it's too low. It is too low to the ground, and it's danger of bashing it on the curb, which we did in our previous Bailey.
Yeah, and we knocked the tap off, didn't we?
Knocked the tap off, yeah.
So apart from that,
It's been good.
Everything else is good.
Yeah. So if Bailey are listening, then that's definitely something I'd ask them to change.
So this was probably more directed to Bob. Is it a nice vehicle to drive?
Oh, it's brilliant. Yeah, it's been good. I was a little bit I was thinking perhaps it was a bit underpowered before I drove it, but it's been fine. It's because it's a bit lighter as well. It feels quite nimble on its feet, and it keeps up with all the traffic.
We were on the M62, weren't we, going from Bury to York? And you were saying, it's going up this hill fine.
Yeah, and particularly coming back from Glasgow, there's a lot of hills, as you know, coming back through around Moffat and then into the Lake District. And I left it on cruise control about 65, and no problems at all.
And you liked the cruise control, didn't you? Because it told you when it was on or off, which you found was good, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's got a little indicator that tells you cruise control is on, and it tells you what speed it's set at. And I don't know if that's on the new Fiats, but definitely that's a really good option with cruise control. Our van just says it's on or off.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So you've answered number 6 for me.
Right.
Question 7 for me. But I was going to ask you.
Question number 7.
I was going to ask you, does it have plenty of power? But you've already just told us that.
Yeah.
So
Finish it, folks.
So overall, is it a thumbs up or a thumbs down?
It's definitely a thumbs up. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a thumbs up.
Yeah.
And so, not so much with the van now. What's been the highlight of this trip for you?
Go to some of the museums, Beamish, the Stockton Darlington Railway, the Riverside Museum in Glasgow. Enjoyed doing that because this time of year it's been nice and quiet. Been able to look round, haven't we?
Yeah.
And going to the various sites, travelling up one way, going to York, then go to Durham, then go to Edinburgh, Glasgow, and of course on our route being able to meet up with friends and
That's
family.
everything then.
Everything I've enjoyed. I think the only day I didn't enjoy was the shifting of things out of our van into
Which we've got to do tomorrow.
Which we've got to do tomorrow. It's the only bit I haven't really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Finally.
Well,
Are you-
question number 8.
Finally, are you looking forward to getting the Blair Road back, or would you prefer to keep this one?
It's difficult that because we haven't been in the Blair since November.
No, we've forgotten what it's like.
We've forgotten what it's like,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
can't really answer that until we're
And
back
it is
in
a different.
It's a different van, really.
Different van, yeah.
You can't really compare.
We've tried all through this series not to compare two vans.
Yeah.
There's a big price difference. If you were buying the equivalent of ours new and the equivalent of this new, huge difference in price. One is on a 4.25 ton chassis. You know, this is on a 3.5 ton chassis. Ours has got a bigger engine, and a heavier chassis, and
we've got different heating.
And
bigger bathroom.
Big bathroom, and
you know, so
and it's hard to compare the two.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to getting back in that van as well.
Yes, yeah.
Try and remember what it's like.
Yeah, that's right.
Right then.
Okay.
That's the end of the questions. I'll just have a quick look around the van because we haven't done that yet.
Yeah, sure. And mind all the washing up then.
Yeah.
Well, you can do the washing up while you're there.
We won't look that way because these people don't want to be on camera over there. Oops.
You're all right.
Sorry.
One step.
So
That's your nice new microwave that you've had refitted. Right guys, so that was the video with Bob and Jenny. Yes, you probably heard me saying just as the camera went off, we'll have a look round and I'll show you that as the video is going off. I'd really like to thank Bob and Jenny for taking part in the interview. I'd even more like to thank Bob for helping me get this sorted out. Had a couple of hiccups with this. One really big hiccup, if you're a YouTuber, is don't forget to take your camera, which is what I did when we went for the second interview. Luckily Bob agreed to lend me, so Bob did the filming, and then Bob tried sending it to me and it didn't arrive, and he tried sending it again and it didn't arrive. Oh, it was arriving and I couldn't download it. Bob posted it to me in the post. It didn't arrive. And then finally on Thursday or Friday night, I can't remember which it was, Bob managed to get it to me in a format that I could download it. So really want to thank you for that, Bob. You went above and beyond. And all I've got to say is the usual. If you've liked the video, give us a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification icon so you get notifications when we post again. Thank you. Goodbye.